Hello. Today I want to talk about the root of evil. And what is the root of evil? This is a question I've carried with me into my inner work and shadow work and understanding the collective subconscious and the collective psyche. I've also carried it with me into my ayahuasca ceremony because I wanted to understand what the root of evil is. And I came up with the discovery that at a deeper level, not at its root, but at a deeper level, evil is disconnection. Now, disconnection usually takes the form of narcissism. Now, I don't mean narcissism in its trendy and overused way. But what I mean is that when I am disconnected from you, it means that I can hurt you without feeling your pain. I cannot feel the oneness with you. I cannot feel you as one with me. So hurting you does not hurt me. Because I'm disconnected. And this is why nations can drop bombs at their neighboring country and blow people into pieces and not have any compassion. Now, narcissism in and of itself is not evil. It's a wound. Now, we can actually say that evil, or the root of evil, is a wound that is created in our childhood. Now, what happens in our childhood? What happens in our childhood makes us disconnected. When we have parents that are unable to attune to our emotional needs and connect with us in a healthy way and an attuned way, reaching out to them feels painful. And when we experience pain, we usually repress whatever, and as children, we're really intelligent. So we repress whatever causes that pain. So we repress as children the need to connect. So it's a survival pattern that we adapt in our childhood, which is actually very, very detrimental to the global society. Because this connection means, again, I can hurt you without feeling your pain, without having any compassion. Now, connection means that I can feel you as one with me. So hurting you means hurting me. And it's not a mental construct. It's something that I feel. I feel your pain when you're hurting. Now, on the flip side of narcissism is codependency. So a narcissist usually is unable to connect to people, to animals, to plants, right? So a narcissist is unable to connect to the external. A codependent person is unable to connect to him or herself. So what happens with a codependent is they're disconnected from their own needs, and so they repress their own needs, unable to establish a connection with someone else. Now, this can be very, very manipulative and unhealthy. It's a very unhealthy and unbalanced and toxic relating dynamic. Now, what needs to happen? Every person has to ask themselves, how am I behaving in narcissistic ways? And this can be very subtle. How am I acting in ways that are causing discomfort or pain to others, and I'm disregarding it? And we need to dive into our wound, our childhood wound, where we have repressed our need to connect. And this is usually encapsulated in pain. And we need to process through that pain. And we need to reclaim that need to connect to others, again, in healthy ways. But it needs to start with the acknowledgement of where am I acting in narcissistic ways with people or animals or nature. Now, people that are more on the codependent side, or if I have codependent behavior, and usually you have both. So what I need to do is I need to acknowledge my needs. I need to learn ways how to communicate my needs in conscious and transparent and more mindful ways, not in indirect and manipulative ways. And I think that if we really do this work and are committed to do this work, then we're able to establish healthy connections with each other, where we are transparent, where we are vulnerable, where we process through our unmet needs and the trauma that this has caused and the pain that this has caused in our childhood. And once we clear through that, we connect back to our heart, and our heart is able to feel oneness. And when we're able to feel oneness, then we cannot hurt each other anymore. And this connection has to be external and it has to be internal as well, right? We need to look internally and see what needs do I have, and I need to communicate those needs in very direct ways. That's all for today. Namaste.